Ukraine's precision campaign triggers $620 million Russian collapse across Crimea. Today, the situation inside Crimea is shifting faster than even seasoned analysts expected. A region long regarded as a permanent pillar of Russian power is now showing unmistakable signs of fracture. Ukraine's systematic pressure, applied through months of targeted strikes, deep surveillance, logistical isolation, and precision intelligence, has triggered failures across Russian supply networks, defensive positions, and command structures. The peninsula is no longer behaving like a fortified bastion, but like a territory losing its ability to sustain a coherent fight. As the collapse accelerates, analysts assess that Russian forces have suffered extensive cumulative losses across logistics, infrastructure, and military equipment. To understand how this reversal began, the narrative must return to the earliest moments when the lines first began to break. At 6:10 a.m., across several sectors in northern and central Crimea, Ukrainian surveillance drones observed unusual Russian troop movements. These were not signs of reinforcement, but of withdrawal. Units that had been stationary for weeks were suddenly shifting backwards, leaving behind partially constructed fortifications and unstaffed observation posts. This behavior aligned with months of Ukrainian pressure that had steadily eroded Russia's logistical stability. Through precision strikes on ammunition warehouses, fuel depots, radar sites, and transport convoys, Ukraine had undermined the core support structure required for Russia to maintain a large force. By morning, the cumulative effect of that pressure had become visible. Troops were abandoning positions not because they were under immediate assault, but because they could no longer sustain them. Soon after, Ukrainian reconnaissance teams monitoring intercepted radio communications reported widespread failures across Russian battalion networks. Static, dropped connections, and unresponsive field command posts appeared across multiple fronts. This breakdown was the result of a steady Ukrainian campaign targeting mobile relay stations, command shelters, and communication hubs. Without reliable channels, Russian units struggled to coordinate defensive actions. Some commanders issued conflicting orders, others issued none at all. Forward-line soldiers became increasingly unsure whether reinforcements were on the way or whether they had been silently abandoned. This communication collapse produced a psychological effect nearly as damaging as the physical strikes. Troops began acting more cautiously, more independently, and with less confidence in centralized direction. By 7:20 a.m., the consequences of Ukraine's long-range precision tactics became impossible for Russian forces to ignore. Supply convoys attempting to move ammunition and fuel into frontline sectors were repeatedly intercepted by Ukrainian drone surveillance, followed by artillery strikes. What once took hours now required days, and in some sectors, resupply had not occurred for nearly a week. Soldiers reported rationing ammunition to the point where meaningful defense became unviable. Fuel shortages forced units to abandon armored vehicles, some of which had been partially hidden to avoid detection, but lacked the diesel required to relocate. Analysts estimate these disruptions and losses, destroyed trucks, damaged depots, eliminated stockpiles, and abandoned equipment, accounted for roughly $180 million of the cumulative damage inflicted on Russian operational capacity. By 8 a.m., the broader infrastructure that connected Crimea's defensive sectors began to collapse. Ukraine's repeated strikes on bridges, rail junctions, and road hubs had effectively split the peninsula into isolated pockets of Russian control. Reinforcement routes became unreliable, medical evacuation corridors became dangerous. Every movement, whether of troops, supplies, or vehicles, risked exposure to Ukrainian drones that monitored open terrain and choke points with near-constant surveillance. This landscape of fragmented mobility removed Russia's ability to regroup forces into coherent defensive lines. Officers reported increasing numbers of soldiers refusing frontline assignments, aware that logistical support could not reach them in time if an engagement escalated. At 9:15 a.m., Ukrainian drone operators intensified their reconnaissance over Russian fortifications. Using long-endurance systems capable of maintaining observation for hours, they documented collapsing trench networks, abandoned fighting positions, and destroyed command shelters. These drones also guided precision strikes on high-value targets, including air defense radars and mobile missile batteries, many of which had been relocated in haste and were operating with incomplete setup. Russian troops described the drone's constant presence as suffocating. No movement felt safe, no command post felt hidden, and no convoy could travel unobserved. This pervasive surveillance produced a sense of exposure and vulnerability that eroded discipline and morale. As the situation progressed, the Black Sea Fleet added another layer of instability. Ukrainian attacks on naval piers, repair docks, and coastal logistics hubs forced Russia to relocate ships and submarines farther east, removing them from positions they once used to support Crimea's defenses. With naval protection weakened, coastal missile coverage thinned, and maritime supply routes degraded, land-based forces experienced increased strain on an already collapsing logistics system. Analysts noted that the fleet's withdrawal carried not only operational consequences, but symbolic ones. A force once projected as dominant in the Black Sea was now repositioning to avoid destruction. At 11:40 a.m., signs of civilian anxiety appeared across the peninsula. Long lines formed at fuel stations, checkpoints overflowed with vehicles, and rumors spread rapidly across social platforms inside Crimea. Many residents who had believed Russia's assurances of stability now witnessed troops abandoning positions, relocating equipment, or retreating southward. These population movements further complicated Russian military actions. Overcrowded roads slowed troop transfers. Panicked civilians competed for the same routes used by military convoys. Commanders struggled to maintain order amid overlapping confusion across both military and civilian networks. By 12:30 p.m., Ukraine's intelligence capabilities demonstrated striking effectiveness. Several Russian command centers were hit within minutes of senior officers arriving. This pattern indicated real-time targeting, informed by drones, satellite imagery, electronic intelligence, and possibly internal sources within Crimea. With leadership nodes frequently destroyed or disrupted, Russian battalions found themselves without coherent direction. Some units adopted defensive postures on their own, while others attempted localized retreats. The chain of command, crucial in any coordinated defense, showed clear signs of fragmentation. Troops no longer looked upward for guidance, they looked sideways for survival. At 1:45 p.m., the cumulative effect of Ukraine's long-term operational strategy had matured into a decisive turning point. Rather than launching direct assaults on heavy fortifications, Ukraine had concentrated on degrading essential systems that allowed Russia to sustain these positions at all. Logistics, communication, morale, leadership, air defense structures, and mobility corridors were gradually dismantled. As these components eroded, Russian troops increasingly recognized that holding fixed positions meant exposing themselves to destruction without the ability to respond. Some units began retreating without awaiting permission. Others abandoned armored transports or electronic warfare vehicles when fuel or spare parts were no longer available. These abandoned systems not only represented material losses, but also signaled a deeper collapse of command cohesion. In the following stages, Ukrainian forces began advancing into areas weakened by logistical disintegration. Their movements were careful and methodical, designed to test Russian responsiveness rather than rush toward deeper lines. In many sectors, Ukrainian troops encountered little resistance. Empty trenches, discarded uniforms, and hastily left supply crates reflected the growing inability of Russian troops to hold terrain. The psychological momentum shifted visibly. Ukrainian forces operated with increased confidence, while Russian defenders showed hesitation and uncertainty. Analysts noted that battlefield momentum, shaped by confidence, fear, and fatigue, often precedes physical collapse. At 3:30 p.m., several Russian battalions initiated broad fallback movements towards secondary defensive belts. However, these routes were monitored by Ukrainian drones guiding artillery, making retreat dangerous and slow. Columns attempting to regroup came under repeated fire. Unable to withdraw in organized formations, some units abandoned vehicles and moved on foot through civilian areas. Others took shelter in buildings or wooded zones to avoid detection. This behavior highlighted a collapse in discipline as soldiers prioritized evasion over coordinated defense. Commanders struggled to regain control of troops who had lost confidence in their ability to survive in exposed positions. By 4:50 p.m., Russian commanders faced a strategic dilemma with no favorable solution. Holding collapsing positions risked encirclement and greater losses. Retreating risked triggering wider panic among remaining troops. Reinforcing the peninsula had become nearly impossible. Ukraine's expanding long-range strike capability, combined with its ability to suppress air defenses, rendered airlift operations too dangerous. Naval transport faced similar risks, while overland convoys were frequently identified and targeted. Crimea, once described as Russia's most secure military zone, now functioned more like a containment space, where every movement carried significant operational risk. As the day progressed, Ukrainian intelligence confirmed that Russian defensive networks could no longer operate in a coordinated manner. Units were acting independently, reacting to threats as isolated groups, rather than as components of a unified force. The degradation of Russian infrastructure, including destroyed depots, damaged radars, abandoned vehicles, and collapsed defensive positions, accounted for an estimated $440 million of additional losses, bringing the total cumulative impact across the peninsula to approximately $620 million. This figure reflected not only equipment losses, but also the destruction of the systems required to sustain an effective military presence. As night approached, Ukrainian troops continued controlled advances, supported by drone fleets monitoring Russian withdrawals. The psychological difference between the two armies grew increasingly pronounced. Ukrainian soldiers saw an achievable objective ahead, the possibility of reclaiming Crimea after years of preparation. Russian troops, by contrast, encountered growing uncertainty, shrinking support structures, and diminishing morale. With each hour, their confidence eroded further. This imbalance began shaping the tactical reality across the peninsula. One side advanced with purpose, the other fought primarily for escape. Today, Crimea stands at the center of a profound strategic reversal. Russian forces have lost access to reliable supply routes, abandoned fortified positions, and suffered nearly $620 million in cumulative losses across logistics, infrastructure, defensive systems, and equipment. Their lines are fractured, morale is sinking, and command networks are struggling to function under constant pressure. Ukraine, through deliberate planning and precise execution, has transformed Crimea from a symbol of Russian strength into a landscape defined by vulnerability. The critical question now is whether this collapse will continue accelerating, or whether Russian forces can stabilize their positions before Ukraine pushes into the next decisive phase of operations. For more updates, subscribe to our channel.